Let me look at the other side of the Kyoto coin then. And again, the pro-Kyoto side says, in addition to the good things of reducing CO2 emissions, which I think everybody agrees would be a good thing to do, if we move forward on Kyoto, we will also spur on new kinds of environmental technologies that will create all kinds of wealth, replace all the jobs we may lose with these dying smoky industries, and this too will be a good thing. Do you have any reason to disbelieve that?
Well, I mean, first of all, of course we're going to create new jobs. If we ask people to make windmills, that will create jobs for windmills. But likewise, if we ask people to dig holes in the ground and fill them up again, that's going to create jobs in digging holes and filling them up. It's not about how you create jobs, it's about what kind of...
Even if we go whole hog into this massive investment into new technologies, there's no guarantee at the end of the day that we're going to come up with something that, you know, never mind gets to zero emissions or is dramatically cleaner. There's no guarantee of that. However, if we reduce emissions today, we can take a tangible step today and for the ensuing century on reducing emissions, and that, I mean, that's a guarantee. We could do that now. Speak to that argument, if you would.
Yeah, Stephen, you're absolutely right. There's no guarantee about the future, but the curious thing is that people will actually say, but we can guarantee if we cut, there will be a tangible effort. But, I mean, we tried twice and we didn't do it very well. The Kyoto Protocol is going to cut emissions 0.7%, simply because people didn't live up to it. So yes, we have lots of people promising all kinds of things, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. We didn't do it with Kyoto. We didn't do it in the Rio Summit. Saying, all right, we failed twice, let's go for a much more ambitious treaty down the same lines, seems fairly folly to me, and to believe that that's actually going to cause real cuts seem very, very unlikely. So we're all talking about how we deal with the future. I'm simply saying, instead of going down a future which we have tried twice and didn't work very well, maybe we should go down another way that is both going to be cheaper, it's going to be smarter, it has more chance of success. And no, at the end of the day, I can't promise you success, but I can tell you it has a hell of a lot more chance to actually work, to get everybody fired up, and actually help solve the problem by 2050.
I want to ask you about one of the fascinating arguments you made in your book, which was, yes, I think there are a lot of people out there today who are terrified at the notion that the Earth is heating up and that we're going to, particularly in places like Canada, you know, we're not going to have the harsh winters that we had anymore. People are going to start to die from the heat. You took us to the other side of the equation in your book, which is to say, that may be true, but a lot of people aren't going to freeze to death either. Are we forgetting the other side of the argument?
We are very much, and of course that's a big part of my book. It's just simply to get people to realize that the argument that we're very often presented with, namely that global warming is bad for good things and good for bad things, is a morality tale. It's not how the real world works. Of course global warming is both going to be positive and negative. It is overall going to be more negative than it's positive. That's why it's a problem. That's not why we need to fix it. But we need to understand that it's not just unmitigated catastrophe. Yes, with increasing temperatures we're going to see more heat death. But with increasing temperatures, we're also going to see fewer cold waves, therefore fewer cold deaths. And since cold deaths in virtually all parts of the world vastly outweigh heat deaths, we're likely to see many fewer cold deaths. For Britain, where we have the best studies, it's estimated by 2050 there'll be 2,000 more people dying from heat waves every year on average. 2,000 people, that's important to say. But we also need to realize that there's going to be about 20,000 fewer people dying from cold waves. Globally, this also holds true. There's going to be about 400,000 more people dying from heat, but there's going to be 1.8 million people fewer dying from cold by 2050. We need to know these kinds of numbers, and what they tell us is that, yes, while climate change overall will be a problem, it's not going to be the catastrophe that we are very one-sidedly being told, and which is, quite frankly, unlikely to lead to good policy judgment.